Alright, hello everyone. My name is Sergio, and in this video we're going to create a tier list for the skills in the Burst of Power game. Now, if you don't know, Burst of Power is a mobile game created by Bullet Studios, and it is inspired by the Hunter x Hunter and the Dragon Ball IP. But it has its own little vibe, if you will. But in this video we're just going to get all of the skills from the game, and we're going to see which one of them is the best and which one of them is the worst. This should help other players to know what you are essentially getting when you are investing in your character. Now, the way we're going to judge these skills is by number 1, their speed, number 2, their consistency, number 3, their damage, number 4, their overall versatility, and number 5, their energy consumption. Now, Dark Star. Starting first with Dark Star, this is a skill that is very similar. It's a basic Spirit Blast. It has mid, short, and long range capabilities. It has a good amount of damage, but the thing about the Dark Star, it is quite slow. It is quite slow in sort of its in regards to its effective range. It does not go as far as, say, for example, something like the Spirit Orb, and because of that I'm gonna have to drop it in what I believe second to last for the worst, C tier. Next is the Arcane Blast. Now this is mainly used by what's her name again, Mista. Yeah, this is mainly used by Mista, and it is quite a powerful blast skill. Now this one coats the user, or coats Mista, in an aura of destructive ki, if I remember correctly, and it can act as like a kind of shield, or if you are battling groups of enemies, it is very good because you're able to catch all of them at once. So definitely a good skill all in all. But what it lacks is its long range capabilities. It does a lot of damage, does a lot of guard damage, but it lacks in long range capabilities. Mainly you can only fight with short distances with this move, and that really hampers how far you can go. So I'm going to put it in B tier right here. Then another move owned by Mista is the Evil Spirit Orb Burst. Now this is just the quote-unquote darker version of the normal Spirit Orb Burst or whatever, and in my opinion it is much worse than the normal one because it moves so much slower. I don't know what it is with these evil moves, and they just move slower, man, and I do not think it is worth using whatsoever, because Burst of Power is a game where you need speed and you need consistency, and I don't think, even though it has a decent amount of damage, I don't think this skill is even worth it, honestly. Then you have the normal Spirit Orb Burst, and this is a very good skill in my opinion. It fires 3 orbs, and depending on how the enemies are arranged, some of those orbs might go into different directions and whatever have you, but when you are fighting one opponent you get 3 Spirit Orb bursts of damage. It is quite consistent. It is capable of mid-range and long range. When it comes to short range, there's a chance where if you're in certain positions, the orbs might miss completely, so it gets knocked off for consistency in that regard. But I think it is definitely a skill that is deserving of high. It's honestly between a low A or a high B for me, the Spirit Orb Burst. It's not a bad skill whatsoever. You can definitely make it far in this, but it's, yeah, I'm gonna go high B with this one. Alright, next we have the Compact Energy Ball, and you can just think of this as a large Spirit Orb. Has a good amount of charging time. It does a very good amount of damage. It's a bit on the slower side. It is effective for short, mid, and long range combat. Overall, I think it is a good skill. Definitely not one of the best in the game, not by any means. But if you're pressed, it's definitely better than the ones down here, which are not good in my opinion. So I'm gonna get it in the B tier once again. Spirit Orb, the classic Spirit Orb. Everybody loves this skill, including me. It's not really good. Low damage. It's not really effective for complete long ranges because, as you know, it gives out at around almost full stage. It's great for combo potential, you know. It's because of its versatility, you can use it to extend your combos or end combos and whatever have you, and that really helps. It's not bad, but Jesus, what can I say about this thing? It's just meh. Honestly, I'm gonna put it in C tier. Has a little special place in my heart. Spirit Wave. This is the, well, I don't want to say it for legal reasons. This is essentially the Kamehameha of the game, and the Spirit. Oh, by the way, when I say Spirit Wave, I'm taking into account like versions 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, I'm not, when I say Spirit Wave, I'm not gonna split them up and say Spirit Wave 1, Spirit Wave 2. No, this is just all of them. Spirit Wave is definitely a high level skill. It is extremely long range. It can work for mid range, short range as well. It does a high amount of damage. It is fantastic for extending combos. It's fantastic for ending combos. It's fantastic for a long range snipe, especially the third version of this skill. It does a massive amount of damage, and however, you have to really know your positioning when you are using the skill, because if you don't position yourself right, the blast will just go straight over the enemy's head. The thing that really knocks this skill for me though is its energy consumption and the time it takes to recharge. So that's why I can't really go into S tier in my opinion, but definitely a good skill regardless. Next we have the Spirit Blast, which is used by Raylene and I forgot the other guy's name. Yeah, this is a short range blast that is very good in close quarters combat. It can be used as essentially a shield as well to defend against incoming blast attacks. It is very good to deal with crowds. Along with that, it essentially has no form of cooldown whatsoever, so you can keep on spamming this. So what I like to do is I like to use it one after another for high impact damage, high HP damage, and it continuously pushes the opponent away. I think it is a very good skill for what it sets out to do. The lack of mid-range and long-range capabilities can be hampering, but say for example if you want a quick shield against incoming blast, this is a decent option. I'm putting it in A tier. Shock Blast, same thing as a Spirit Blast. Spirit Push, yes, this is quite a good skill. The thing about this skill is it eats up a lot of your energy, but if you are using Rizzo, he does not have that issue, because Rizzo's transformation have a special quality. As soon as you pop into them, he regains all of his energy, so you can just use the Spirit Push, transform out, transform back in, get back all of your energy, and use it over and over and over again. It took me a while to get that down, actually. You'd be surprised. It is a very good skill. Versions 1 and versions 2 act like a sort of shotgun in a way, but the third version is a long range. It is fully capable of long range capabilities, mid range, short range. Yeah, once again, in terms of the spirit consumption, if it was on anybody else it would be a problem, but thankfully it's on Rizzo, where energy is not really his problem. Alright, so thanks to that, this skill I believe is a definite S tier, and the skill by itself is not S tier, but it in the hands of Rizzo is, because once again you can transform out and transform in and regain your energy, so you can keep on spamming this high damage. It does high damage as well, and quickly moving attack. Not a bad one by any means. Alright, now Spirit Shockwave. This move has a special place in my heart because this, if you don't know, this move originated from the final power level warrior from the character Rayon, which was one of my personal favorites characters from that game. You can find it being used in Burst of Power by Rizzo's sister, and for her skills, she has a lot more skills in her arsenal, because I think lore wise she's more good at spirit manipulation and spirit control, so that's why she has more better access to skills, if you will. But this skill, it is definitely not bad. It is a mid to short range attack that is fantastic for mainly ending combos. I find that when I'm trying to use it to extend combos, it's not really all that effective. But as a get off me option and a way to deal in that extra bit of damage, it is quite good. And I just love the whole aesthetic of just blowing your opponents away. But it's definitely not the best, not by any means. And eventually you're gonna get to a skill where that will completely replace this altogether. Honestly, I'm kind of torn. It's either a high C for me or a low B. I'm gonna put it at a low C. Honestly, it's good. It's service is definitely better than these two. You can definitely get better usage out of it, in my opinion. But it just stays on the field for such a short amount of time. Yeah, no, yeah, top of C. Spirit Shockwave. This is a repeat of the other one. Just ignore that. Spirit Shield. Now, this is the upgraded version of Spirit Shockwave, and honestly, it is a S tier move in my opinion. It stays on the field for longer periods of time. So if you want to extend it, if you want to use it to extend your combos, it's terrible for that. It is effective in almost all ranges, deals a high amount of damage. It is very consistent. It provides a shield to you because it blocks incoming spirit attacks. It provides a shield for physical attacks as well. Well, I guess all Spirit Blast does that. Overall, this is an S tier ability. It takes a lot of energy to use, though. I think around 20 or so. But I think for what you are getting with this skill, it is very much worth it. S tier skill. Alright, then we have the Energy Ball combo. Now this is you can think of it as the equivalent of the Spirit Orb, in that this is a starting off skill for various characters. This is much better than the Spirit Orb in my opinion. It is mostly effective for short to mid ranges. At the third version, you have a little bit extra distance to utilize because it goes farther. It is quick. It does not take a lot of energy to fire off. It is fantastic for ending and extending combos. It is fantastic to keep pressure on the opponent. You know, want to bring down their stamina once they are blocking. I think that this skill is extremely good, especially in the hands of Mirror, because if you know Mirror's final set of transformations, they allow him to auto-gen spirit, and once you are using this skill, you do not have an issue with spirit management whatsoever. You are not going to run out of spirit energy because it takes down such a little amount for a good amount of damage. Actually, it's not the highest amount of damage, but it's a good amount. And overall, I think it is an S tier move to how useful it is, how versatile it is, and the main fact that it does not take a lot to utilize, along the speed as well. The speed of this move is very, very good. Definitely a S tier move in my opinion. Next, we're going to the Rapid Fire Berserk. This is the one used by Rice, so it's the Energy Ball combo of Rice. Once again, it is very good. Along that, the tracking of this skill, especially the last blast, is exceptionally good. Now, if I remember correctly, it does burn up a good amount of spirit as well, and that is the only thing that is potentially holding it back for me. But it is such a good skill. Right, especially once you work with Rice and you increase his spirit levels, it should be a very good option to use. But I always think of Rice as more of a melee fighter rather than a spirit caster or a spirit blaster or whatever have you. Still a good skill. I don't think it is as good as energy ball combo due to, like, once again, the amount of spirit energy that it uses, but it's still a very, very good skill. And I think for Rice, it suits his play style well. But only thing that I would want is the energy consumption to be decreased a little bit, so it can go in the S tier right here. But once again, not a bad skill whatsoever. Spirit Star. Now we go into Rice City, the sister of Rice, and honestly, I'm just telling you from now, her skills are shit. Her skills are shit, because it is similar to the Dark Star, but it does a lot of damage. The tracking is not the best, if I remember correctly, and it's not as bad as the skill that we're gonna get onto next. But I don't see it being really all that effective in a match. I tried using it, it just did not feel good to me whatsoever. Maybe I need to go back and try it again, but from what I remember using it, I did not have a fun time with this skill whatsoever. I had a better time using the Spirit Orb. Along with that, if I remember correctly, this thing consumes a lot of energy to use, and I'm not down for that. So right now I'm wondering, no, yeah, D tier, yeah, free that. Fireman. This is a very interesting skill used by Aras, and I think it's one of the, well, it's not the first of its kind. It's a good skill, allows for a different playstyle with Aras. It doesn't allow you to be as oppressive as you'd ought to be, but I think for what it brings to the table in terms of the diversifying of playstyles, it is quite a good option, because you can undergo different set play with it. So for example, when you're starting a match, right, what I used to like to do is, when you're starting a match, you turn in reverse, and then you let go of Spirit Mine, then you jump up in the air, let go of Fire Blast, the the enemy would sub it, and when they sub it, they would pop right into the fire mine that you sent behind you. It's a good skill, it's a very fun skill, but I don't think it suits really with the game itself in terms of the high pressure format. But for what it tries to do, I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna put it in the middle of B tier. Not really middle, but yeah, right there. Alright, next one. Oh, the next one of our skills is not here, forgot to put it in, but the fireball combo or whatever have you, that would go, it's not a bad skill whatsoever. I think it just needs better tracking. The energy consumption for that skill isn't bad at all in my opinion, but it just needs better tracking. Along with that, it takes a while to fire off, honestly, because thanks to Arrow's double jump, you can fire off like 3 fireballs in the air once you jump. And I think it is a case where it's not really all that impressive. Just like with the fire mine, the fireball combo or whatever have you would go in B tier as well. Then we had the holy combo. This is going in D tier. This skill is what actually inspired me to make this tier list, because before I thought that all the skills were good, but no, using this skill from where I said made me realize that, damn, some of these skills are absolute garbage. First and foremost, it takes a lot of energy to use, because the first 2 blasts from this attack are, you know, the Spirit Star, okay, and we already placed the Spirit Star where it needs to be placed. But the last attack from this, all right, you would think that, oh, it is it should be, you know, a very good move, a very good blast. But no, the last energy ball in this combo, it is slow, it has terrible tracking, it does a lot of damage, yes, but what's a lot of damage when it can't even fucking hit the opponent? And overall, this, in my opinion, is the worst skill in the game, honest to God. All right, if you are using Rice City, I do not recommend you using this skill. It is a waste of energy, it is a waste of time, and is honestly a waste of space in this game's memory. Terrible skill, absolute shit. Meteor, once again by Aras. This is a good skill. It was one of the first, one of those high level skills that Bootlet released in the last patch. It's definitely a high level skill. It has a good amount of limitations. First of all, the cooldown is quite long, along with that you cannot use it any which way on the field. You have to be of a certain distance from the opponent so you can use the skill. But once you release it, it is a high damage, high tracking, and very quick attack. But overall, it is not the best in my opinion, not by a long shot, but it's still fairly good. I'm going to give it a A tier, low A tier, not bad at all. All right. Rapid fire sage on the ground. The ground version of rapid fire sage, it's not bad whatsoever. I think it is most effective in mid to short ranges. If you want to know why, it's because in this combo you do a first two energy ball orbs or whatever have you, then the last one is a energy shockwave. Now if you are long distance, the shockwave will just miss, because that shockwave is banking or hoping that your opponent would sub behind of you with a shockwave to catch him. But that is kind of RNG based or whatever have you. It's not as consistent as it should be. All right, so that's why, to increase its consistency, you would want to go closer to your opponent to use this skill so you can get the maximum amount of damage. But that in itself is kind of limiting the move, you know, because it wants you to play a certain way that is not all that consistent, because it depends on your opponent's subbing. It does a high amount of damage, yes, but the consistency and the fact that the last attack really eats up a lot of energy really does hamper it, in my opinion. And I've heard people say, oh, why not just use the first two energy balls from the combo and to do your thing. But I'm saying, if I'm doing that, might as well I just use something like energy ball combo instead, you know, instead of trying to carefully stagger my spiritual pressure, and try not to go into the shockwave, because not only am I losing essentially momentum there, I am also burning a large amount of spirit energy as well. It's not a bad skill, but it's rough. B tier. Spirit Disc combo. Now, if it wasn't obvious before, once you were playing this game, but Mirror is the most powerful character in the game by far, in my opinion. From his transformations to his stats to the ability of transformation to his overall spirit techniques as well, he's the strongest character in the game, and this is one of the best grounded attacks in this game for sure. The tracking of this skill is lovely. It is extremely good. Along with that, the damage that it does, incredibly high as well. It does take up a good amount of ki, because if you are using the Spirit Disc combo with Mirror's transformation, you are definitely, oh, my battery is low, you are definitely going to feel the effects of that. Alright, check 1, check 2. You are definitely going to feel the effects of that drain, unlike if you use the energy ball combo. But for what you're gaining a high tracking, high damage, high mobility move, it is worth it. It is a definite S tier in my opinion. Well, it's not the top of S tier. Right there, yeah. Then you have the rapid fire sage combo in the air version. Now, in my opinion, the air version of the rapid fire sage is much better, much more consistent, because you get the first two blasts and you get a larger blast at the end, that is similar to the max output of the spiritual push. It is a good tool in my opinion. Once again, the thing that is mainly holding it back is the energy consumption, the spirit consumption. But in terms of damage and the tracking of the last hits is not bad whatsoever. But it's not a S tier move. It's good, but it's not the best. Yeah, I put it at 2nd of A tier. Yeah, right there, right behind rapid fire Berserk, because Berserk doesn't really eat all that much spirit energy. And we come now to the last skill, the Chaos Ball, once again by Mirror. And to the surprise of no one, this is the best skill in the game. High amount of damage, very good tracking. It covers a large area of the screen. It has no cooldown. You can literally make it through fights of multiple people or multiple opponents who are much stronger than you, and you can make it out unscathed because of this skill right here. Right, this is a fantastic skill. It is busted in all regards, and it is the best skill in the game, especially the third version of it. It doesn't really consume all that much, and especially in the hands of Mirror, who has an auto regen on his spiritual energy, you're not really feeling it all that much, taking from your energy pool. So the Chaos Ball is the strongest technique in the game, bar none. Alright, but that will be the end of this tier list video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the video. Sometime in the future I plan to do more Berserk Power content and more JJK content as well, because I'm really enjoying these two pieces of media right now. And overall, I can't wait to see you guys again in the next video. Please be well and enjoy the rest of your day.